So I'm going to make sure this is saved on my page so you can watch it. So if you are interested in how I take my photos, I'm going to give you the 411 on here. I have my professional camera and I have my iPhone. I'm filming on my iPhone I do not like, so I can show you guys all my tips and tricks for photography and capturing the best image. Because why are our photos so important? Because they market us. They market us to new clients and they also market us to the world. Hey, hey. So I'm gonna get into how I've created the images that I have. Now, mind you, you guys, it's taken me over a decade to really dial this in. And I still feel like I look at other people's images and I'm like, oh, that's so good. And I feel like all of you guys are always pushing me to make my images so much better, okay? So first we're gonna talk about what I use for images, because everyone's like, do you use a professional camera? I definitely do, but I also use my phone as well. So as you guys can see, like my phone, I have iPhone 13 Pro. So that's what this guy is. One of the biggest tips I can tell you guys is before you take any photo, take this and wipe down your camera. Wipe it down. When I go to film and when I see glares happening, I'm like, my camera's dirty, even though I just wiped it. So go through and wipe your camera before every single image. It's gonna make sure that it's crisp and clear. Now, when we're going into our actual camera itself, I don't like to use portrait. I think it just does something to the hair color that I do not like whatsoever. So I keep the image raw, and I also make sure that the image is live. So you know when you hold down an image and it kind of moves? Keeping it like that, like when it's windy out, what's really good is when you keep your image as a live image. I will go through all my images and I'll hit the live, and you can scroll through the bottom to see what is the best live image. And I'll show you guys, I'll kind of flip over my phone and try to show you the best I can. So that is very important to keep it live. The next important thing is your exposure, okay? I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. So when you are taking a photo, so we're gonna open up my camera here. Isn't she cute? Okay, so we're gonna open up our camera, okay? Now, what you do is you press the screen, see the little sun. Let me pull it closer because the glare in here. See the sun right there? Okay, with your phone, make sure you guys can see this. So press it, you're gonna grab your sun and you can I locked my screen. So see how I pulled down and it says AEAF lock at the top right there, okay? So the exposure is not gonna change on it, okay? I just unlocked it there. The sun right here, you can grab the sun with your finger. Look how I'm darkening that. I just made that door black, you guys. And then I can raise the sun up. Now, when I find the exposure I want and I don't want it to shift, that's when I'm gonna hold to the right and I'm gonna drop down and it'll do the lock, and you can adjust it down right there, all the way down. And see how it has the lock still on my screen and it really dropped down that exposure. That is going to make all the difference, especially in your brunettes, because brunettes, I feel like, get blasted with sun and you lose that depth, you lose that richness, and it just completely goes away. So grabbing that exposure on those brunettes and pulling that exposure down and locking your screen is going to make all the difference. Now, what I find is very important, I'm going to show you guys, this is literally from my camera roll, okay? I'm going to show you two images literally taken minutes apart, okay? So here is image one. Let me make sure it's nice and steady. Here's image one. There's image two. Image one, image two. Look at how different the color is. So like in this one right here, you can see that it's brighter. Here, it's darker. This one, the darker one, I took inside my building and I made sure to turn off the lights. I think I give everyone a heart attack in my building. I turn off the lights, and that's why see how dark it is like that? Now let me show you an image when I had the lights on in the building. I don't think I got one of her sideways, but look at that. Let me let it focus. It was too blurred out, and I was like, this is not pretty. And then when I came over here and I turned the lights off, I mean, it's pretty, but it's not what my eye was seeing. And I was like, okay, let's go outside. So that's when I took her outside, and that's when I was able to get that image. Let me let it focus. That image right there, okay? I had to keep looking at my phone after I took a few photos, looked at the hair, and what I'm seeing on my phone is it reading in front of me. And if it's not reading in front of me, I will adjust. And any new building, because I've been in studios forever, what I like to do is I will go all around the building, and I take someone I'm very comfortable with. Usually my oldest daughter did it at this building, so I took her and I went to the back door, opened up the door, had her stand in the doorway. In doorways is chef's kiss. It's going to give you beautiful lighting. And doorways that are meaning where it's outside lighting and indoor lighting, and you get the mix of both worlds, and it is like gorgeous. However, it depends on which way your building is facing. And so when I took her to the back, I was like, that's not hitting right. And then we have 2 hallways at my building, and I took her to both hallways, and it's really cool. I'm at Image Studios. They have these backdrops that are just like really cool backdrops. If I could get them in my photos, it'd be cool, but the lighting is flat. Like, it looks really flat to the hair color, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I have found I have 3 sweet spots in my building. Is when you first come into my doors, and we have huge windows in the entrance. Inside, I have my right side and my left side. Depending where the sun is, I'll move them, and I try to keep them away from direct sunlight coming in. So if the sunlight is hitting hard on one spot, I move them to the other spot, and vice versa. Now, like how I showed you guys on this image, okay? So we're gonna pull it up. So like this image, when I took it of her, I was like, it's not reading right. It's too dark. I did all the things with adjusting the light. I was like, let's take her outside, because I know if I take outside, I'm gonna have a lot more light out there. But with this color, that is exactly what I needed to be able to get this image with her that you guys saw on my page. Hi, gorgeous. So please, for the love of God, don't take photos of your client sitting in your chair. Unless you are lucky, you're one of the rare lucky ones that has a big ass window next to you, natural lighting hitting perfectly, and you don't have awful overhead lighting that makes everything look brassy and awful. You know that lighting I'm talking about, when you turn your client around and you reveal, and they're like, ooh, pretty, until you take them up front and you show them their picture, they're like, oh my God, because the lighting, it makes such a difference in how you're taking your photos. So that is my biggest tips when it is working with your camera. So clean it every single time, lock your exposure, go around your building and find your favorite spot to take photos. And I also have like different times a day. Like my first client of the day, and if it's a color that usually takes me 3 to 4 hours, I know that if I move them to the right side, I have my 3 spots. If I move them to my first spot, it's perfect. Then say it's my second big color of the day, I know they get the second spot, or sometimes outside. I have learned it just like that, okay? Do you need a fancy camera to take your images? Absolutely not. I capture a lot on my regular iPhone, and this is just an iPhone 13. I need to upgrade, but I refuse right now because I hate the passwords updating, like it's a nightmare. So we've been holding on to her, and she's been doing good. However, I want to talk about, I just threw it on the ground. Let's talk about professional cameras. Okay, so I did a lot of research, and I got this professional camera right here. I literally just got it on Amazon, and I got it when they were doing, I've had it for a year now. It was like their Christmas sales or something that was going on, and it was an influencer package. So it came with many, many things. I think cameras can be very intimidating. You need to have time to learn them. And the reason that I usually will grab for my iPhone versus this guy is a lot of my clients are in a hurry. So to get this open, check the lens, get it opened up, get it set to the setting and capture it, I sometimes don't have the time. But I prefer my images, especially my brunettes, are crispy AF when I'm using my camera. So this is the Canon EOS. So this is the guy that I have right here. What I love about this camera is it has a pop-up flash, okay? I got it with the basic attachment that comes with it. I don't want to take it off and expose it, but you have your lens right here. This is the basic lens. You don't need big ones, crazy ones. It comes stock with it, or at least when I did. This is great for close-ups, nothing far. The bigger the lens gets, that's for like that way off in the distance. So this lens came with it. I had to buy a strap with it because the strap is very important because you don't want to drop this because your heart will drop. Now this camera, what I liked about it is it came with a microphone, so I can attach my microphone. It came with a tripod. I did have to buy this cute little bag, and I usually have it hanging. Now, the reason that I prefer the Canon EOS with all my research is it is the most user-friendly. So what I mean by that is it has your options up here. It literally has an option where you can point and shoot. It's an auto option. So cameras can be very hard to learn because when you don't have an auto option, you have to know where your exposure is. You have to know your lighting, your pixels. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So finding a camera that was going to make it easy for me to point and shoot until I could learn it was super, super important. I have the same camera, I think it's the R10, yes. So this one, it's the R50. So this is the EOS R50, and it's about a year old. So it has that auto, and now it also has it can film video. I prefer this in video, however, I don't have a nifty little tripod like I do for my phone. When I do video with this, if you guys are wanting that moody, you know how you see people filming like that darker, richer, moodier type of feel? You will get that from this. The image is going to be phenomenal. So if I could have somebody literally holding this and filming all my stuff for me, I would, but I don't have that luxury. So I will pull this out when I know I have the time. I know where my client is, because I think that's the hard thing too. A lot of people are like, I don't have time to get images. Well, you do. Walk them up front, take a few and let them go at least. This guy does take a minute to set up, and I'm always trying to make sure I do keep it charged. So those are the two options that I do with my photos. So I do have my professional and I do have my basic iPhone. When it comes to editing your images and doing all of that sort of stuff, I am the biggest stickler. I will edit faces. I edit faces because I know a lot of my clients show up without any makeup on. Like they're coming in comfortable, and there's only probably like a handful of my clients that I know are comfortable with me shooting their face. That's just how it is. There are some stylists out there where I swear they have a model sitting in their chair every single time. Beautiful, gorgeous, that's great and all. But your everyday stylist working on clients, not all of them are going to be comfortable. They're not going to be comfortable with you shooting their face. And you're like, well, Katie, my clients won't let me. Start with those that you feel really comfortable with, friends and family. And I like to use Facetune. So I use Facetune, and what I do with it, do not touch the hair. I'll come for you guys. Do not touch hair when you edit. Facetune, I like to use it to refine. Say, like, you can put makeup on them, you can remove blemishes. I try not to overdo it and make them look like they're Barbie skin and there's nothing there. But sometimes they come in and their skin it's in rough shape and they know it, and you tell them you're going to make them feel good. And you know there's those clients you can have those conversations with. So that's what I use Facetune for. Thank you, Holly. And I like to darken my background. So when I am going to go edit an image, okay, let me find a raw image of mine, and let me see if I can walk you guys through and if you can see this. So I first start editing my image in my camera roll itself, okay? So this is a back shot, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the cool tips and tricks that I like to do with it. Okay, so let me make sure I stay right here for you guys. Bear with me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here, and we are going to bring the bottom of her hair closer to you. So that's how you can make hair look longer, okay? And we're gonna move her up. So automatically, I just elongated this hair. darken the outside of the image, but you have to be very particular with this because we don't want to edit the hair itself, okay? So now we're going to go into adjust, okay? So this is the adjust. I'm trying to make this so it's not a bad glare. Okay, so this is the adjust option. You can hit auto. I don't like that because it just like changes all the hair and everything. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the end and I'm gonna go to vignette, okay? And when I'm on vignette, what you can do is, okay, see how I just like darkened? If you guys can see that, I darkened the image. But the important thing when it comes to using vignette is don't do it where it creates, look at that. See that darkness in the corners? That's not cute. It like creates a circle. And this is turned all the way on. So I like to take the vignette. I'm trying to do this backwards. And I'll just do it just enough where it just so slightly richens the background. Why do I do that? The hair is the vocal point, okay? So that's why we zoom in on the hair. I don't need to see background. Background is noise. Background is clutter. So tilting the image so that it can elongate the hair because you're trying to show off your pattern. So when you have a client coming in, they can show, they're like, I want this. And it shows the pattern. Like think of hair like fabric. It's a pattern you're showing off. So when you elongate it, it makes it much prettier, okay? You're not changing the hair, but you can elongate it. So that is one of the tricks that I will do there. Then once I'm done with that, I will hop over to Facetune. Say she had like her face on here and I needed to like freshen it up. Let me put on my little nugget on here. Harpatini Houdini. So I'm going into my Facetune app and I'm going to show you guys how, if I were to edit a face, how I would edit it. And I'm going to do it on my 10-year-old daughter. She doesn't need any editing, but she's one that's not going to get mad at me because she doesn't mind this. Okay. She's so cute. Okay. So this is the image and it's hard because it's kind of got a glare in here, you guys. So this is the Facetune app right here. Okay. This is going to allow you can do looks, you can retouch, enhance, vanish. It has all of these options. Now, what I'll do a lot is I will go into the retouch right here at the bottom and I'll use the heal or the smooth, okay? I use the smooth for my clients that have the wrinkles that don't want to show them. And then I'll use heal, so let's zoom in. Good. There's a lot of images I don't share. Like my favorite image of her that I shared on my page, there was actually a blur on her chin. There we go, sorry, I paused. So there was a blur on her chin, but I posted it because I was like, I can't not post this. She looks really cute. I'm gonna show you guys. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let it focus for a second. I don't know if it'll focus, but she has a blur right there. And it was a glare from my camera because I didn't wipe it. But this was like my favorite image of her because she's given like a little side eye there. But I posted it and there was no correcting in Facetune that I can do. So be brave and go and like post those photos and don't be scared of them because that's what's marketing you. And only post photos of work that you want to do more of. So yes, I just posted her because she's really cute, but I wanted to show my versatility. But when you come onto my page, you're going to see very soft blended hair. I am not one that's going to go on and do some Kelly Clarkson chunks, craziness. Like I'm a very soft and subtle hairstylist with my coloring, so that's what I like to post a lot of. But I do like to post a little bit of here and there of what I am capable of to remind them, right? All right, you guys. I saved this on my page. If you're just popping in, I'm going to save it right now, but I'm going to get going. Have a beautiful